has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast, here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid at SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us here today. Of course, it is a Golf Wednesday on C2C. We'll finish that off with Keith Stewart from Read the Line, who, of course, is at Muirfield Village for the Memorial this week, Jack's tournament. We will get all of the selections and the preview from Keith coming up in a little bit. Joe, until then, and after Keith, we have a lot to do this hour. I have tons of stuff we haven't gotten to yet. We have a little NBA and NHL. We have some football for you. As I told you, I've got a bunch of stuff that we have to give you. I loaded you up with football, Joe, because I know it's getting to that time. You're getting a little, dragged down. The playoffs are over. You need the football in the air. So I've even got, I think, for you, the hardest schedules in college football, according to people who think they know. I have that for you today. So a full
you have that for me today? We got to talk about that on the radio then, too.
Okay, of course, Joe. We have plenty of time for that tonight on the radio. Why not?
Well, we have a lot to tackle. We got the Dallas and Panthers. I put that parlay in for us, 77-1.
The Dallas Panther parlay, absolutely. We are going all in on that. Let's go to Dallas and Boston first, Joe. Of course, game one of the NBA Finals is tomorrow night, finally, in Beantown, and Luka Doncic, of course, we'll do the zinger first here, Joe. The zinger, Kristaps Porzingis, is going to be back for Boston. He has not played since early in round number one. He has been injured. He's been resting, but he is ready to go now. And he's got some history, as we know, with Luka and the Mavericks. We've talked a lot about Kyrie's history with Boston. What about KP's history with Dallas? Here is the zinger.
I think it's going to be great.
Great.
Played there for 2.5 years, and I'm happy for everybody in Dallas.
Yeah, you're so happy. Right?
A lot of great relationships I have there, and
you're some of them roses.
And I cannot say I think they deserve to have some success like they've had this season. And it's gonna be fun going up against my old team, going back to Dallas, playing some games there. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. I hope we smash him. Smash him. That's a PJ Washington. Get a body on it. Smash him. I can't say he's such a nice guy. Well, if Dallas is so great, then stay there. Why'd you want to go to Boston? You played your way right out of Dallas into Boston.
To be fair, Joe. Dallas. No. Dallas ran. They ran him out. He didn't want to be there probably, but they sent him to Washington of all places. I mean, that is the last place you want to go in the NBA.
It wasn't like he was lighting it up in Dallas, though, Carver. I mean, he was the best player.
Well, he had the same problems he's had everywhere. He don't play enough. That was his problem in Dallas. He never played. That was
hire a different trainer. Whose problem is that?
Now, the stories of, once again, have been kicked around this week about how him and Luka didn't get along, right? Him and Luka didn't get along. Luka said yesterday that's completely not true. I don't know why anybody would think that. I got along with him just fine. I got no problems with KP. Me and KP are tight. Believe that for whatever you want, Joe. But here is Luka, not talking about that, but talking about his Maverick team gelling together here in the spring and getting themselves to an NBA Finals.
Always had that 2022 run. We had great chemistry. We stayed together, and I feel the same thing with this team. We've been together for 4 or 5 months, and we made the NBA Finals. Like I said, it's been really hard.
It ain't over yet, Luka.
But like I said, we deserve this.
Job ain't done.
Our chemistry is great, and we stay together.
Why are you getting on him? He's going to carry us home, Joe. Why are you getting on Luka?
Kyrie's going to carry us home. Stop. Kyrie's going to carry us home. All of a sudden, he looks like bright lights, big city. How we made it to the NBA Finals. That's only half the battle. You got to win it now, guy. Ask Jason Tatum how it's like. He's still trying to win something.
Two players have averaged 30 or more points per game in the NBA playoffs throughout their career. Michael Jordan and Luka Doncic have averaged 30-plus points in their playoff career. Luka is 9-1 to score 30 or more in every game. Now, me and you have that, Joe, for Kyrie for 25 to score in every game. Luka 9-1 to score 30 in every game in this series.
No. And I hope he doesn't even come. No, I don't even want him to sniff that. Obviously, we need the Mavericks to win, but we need Kyrie to be the guy. I want Kyrie to average 33 a night. 33 a night, Kyrie.
If Dallas wins and it's because of Luka, you'll be okay too, Joe. I'm just saying. You'll be all right as long as Dallas wins. I know that you're loaded up with a lot of Kyrie stuff, but our main objective is getting Dallas across the line, isn't it? Isn't that our main objective here in these NBA Finals?
That's a quarter of the work. Well, I mean,
so
we have to
That'd be a no. Joe's Joe.
No,
he wants the Kyrie stuff. That's it.
I want Kyrie MVP at 24-1. Yes, I want Kyrie to have. I have Kyrie for game 1, 40+ tomorrow night. Yes, 40+. I think it's 25-1.
This has not changed as I didn't think that it would. 6.5 and 214.5. That is for tomorrow night. Finally, game number 1. Series has not changed either, Joe, at this point, as they're still going minus 225 and plus $1.80 for the Mavs. We said last night, and I was saying to Coach before, the exacta Dallas in 6, which is at, I believe, plus correct series result, Dallas in 6, plus 400 now. I got it at 5 last week. It's plus 400, Joe.
That's not bad. I like Dallas in 6. I think that's it. Again, I know that in the regular season, Jaylen Brown and Tatum made against Luka and Kyrie, but now all the chips are in the middle of the table. And I sort of like Jason Kidd in terms of Missoula. You know, we don't bring that up, I don't think, enough. And I know Missoula, beat Indiana, but, there were some games he was a little spot. Okay, all right. You're going to shake your head? No. No.
Well, here's why. Why. And it's a similar thing as what I kind of what I brought up with you yesterday with, what was it, Skinner we were talking about? The Edmonton
Skinner
goalie.
After the first series, the second series. The problem was they weren't tested in the first 3 series.
Yeah, but I thought that he would get severely outcoached by Carlisle in the Indiana series, because Carlisle obviously been around a very long time. He's won an NBA title. I thought that he would run circles around Missoula, and it was actually, Joe, precisely the opposite. I thought that Carlisle did a bad job, especially late in the game in that series. And Missoula, now maybe he was just autopilot, Joe, and he didn't have to do much, and Carlisle made the mistakes. If you want to say that, that's fine too. I don't think there's that big of a gap in the coaching aspect between Jason Kidd and Joe Missoula. And I also don't think coaching means as much, Joe, in this league, in this championship series, as it does in maybe some others. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
You got the blueprint already written out. I mean, there you go.
Joe.
You got the answers to the test. I mean, why even
more
take it?
More in the NBA than anywhere else. I think it matters more in the NFL. It matters more maybe.
Missoula. You were bashing Missoula for how long? All right. So now
I was, the way that he outcoached Carlisle in the last series was impressive to me. I thought that
I thought those players for Indiana were gutless. How about that? They were gutless.
That's another way that you could look at it. I thought they were pretty gutless as well.
Once they lost that overtime game, they were deer in the headlights.
Big mistakes.
Right, big mistakes, but the players caved after game 1. You know that.
I think the coach means the least in the NBA. The least. I think having star players in the NBA is more important than having a star coach, as far as I'm concerned. Ferrall Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty. We will come back. Golf Wednesdays continue. We go to Dublin, Ohio, Muirfield Village. Keith Stewart, read the line. We're back after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than game time decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I got to tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back. Well, coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. Of course, it is a Golf Wednesday on C2C, and that means Keith Stewart from Read the Line is with us as always. And Keith is getting over the Ranger loss to the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals by spending the week in beautiful Dublin, Ohio, Muirfield Village for Jack's tournament, the Memorial, which everyone always loves. Keith, good to see you as always.
You know what? Good afternoon on a Golf Wednesday. Of course, a pleasure to be with you, and it's a pleasure to be at Jack's house. This place is a masterpiece, Muirfield Village Golf Club, designed to pay homage to Augusta National and Muirfield, Jack's two favorite courses. Golly, the course looks great this week. Let's get into it.
Let's do that. And before we get to the course, something that you brought up, and me and you have kind of talked about this a little bit, and that's scheduling this year, right? Like this tournament used to take place on Memorial Day weekend, the Memorial. There you go. And now we have, and they've kind of done this all year this year. They've sandwiched these signature events, these big $20 million events around the majors. I'm sure they have a strategy for this, Keith, whatever it is, but I would have thought maybe breaking things up a little bit more would work better. But here we go. Signature, major, signature. The next 3 weeks should be a lot of fun.
Well, I can tell you what the strategy is, Carver. It is, if we go in Jay Monahan's office, there's a dartboard there, and you just start throwing them with your eyes covered. It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly. So, all right, let's do the Masters, and then we'll have a signature event right after it. We tried that. Then let's do, I don't know, the PGA Championship, and we'll put a signature event right before it. Okay, check that box too. And then the third time, we're going to put an event before and after the U.S. Open. I mean, what are we doing? We don't have any more signature events after the Travelers in 2 weeks. Can we not space these things out? And technically, it's called the Memorial because they memorialize Hall of Famers and people that have given back to the game of golf. Everyone thinks it's because of Memorial Day. There were times where this event was played in early May. But the point being is this. If it's not attached to Memorial Day weekend and you can do it at any time, why are we running back-to-back 3Ms, Barracudas, John Deere Classics and everything? Throw the Memorial there. This is a phenomenal event. Everything right down to the milkshakes. Everybody knows all about it. You know, Colin Morikawa was in the press room today, and he's like, I would play this event. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. We all love this golf course. It is a great test. So, I mean, hopefully, we know it'll all change again next year, Carver. So hopefully they're listening to the feedback they're getting from, it has to. I mean, we'll get a new dartboard and we'll start throwing them again. So, I mean, it's whatever Liv does, we'll react. So at the end of the day, I think what we can do is we can be rest assured that this won't be the week before the U.S. Open, because it's way too important of an event, and it's in fantastic shape. And good news. You don't have to get agitated this week. We were supposed to get all sorts of rain today. It kind of blew over. The storm systems, they broke up. This place, it's going to be firm and fast. It's going to be an awesome test just like last year.
That's what I like to hear, Keith, that's for sure. And You're right. I love the tractor tournament as much as anybody. But from the Travelers all the way to the first week of the playoff, there's only one big tournament, and that's the Open Championship. I mean, that's it. That's it for that entire stretch. You could have probably snuck one of these in there. Let's talk about Muirfield Village and where we are now. They did the redesign a couple of years ago, and things have gotten, Keith, considerably tougher since then. For everybody who always whines about the minus 20s, you ain't getting that this week at that place.
No, it's not going to be It's not going to be done in a dumb way either, like we saw at Lancaster, last week with the U.S. Women's Open. I mean, it's going to be a really fair test. You look at last year, and Hovland won, and he was in a playoff at 7 under par with Denny McCarthy, but he had 17 subpar scores. So we got to have a good balance of birdie or better and bogey avoidance. And this is one of the few courses on the PGA Tour that really, really emphasizes short game, scrambling ability. It's the 5th toughest par 5s on tour, which is really cool because Jack has made them into 3-shot holes. Sure, you could go for them in 2, but chances are you're not going to hit the green and you're still scrambling somewhat. Deep rough around the greens, super, super deep bunkers. We got 50 greenside bunkers here. It's just a really, really well-rounded test. And you and I love that because the cream rises to the top.
The cream rises to the top, and we have 73 golfers here this week. Usually we start the outrights after the break, but I want you to focus on one guy first here, and then we'll do the rest after the break, and that's Colin Morikawa. Me and you are reading the same mail, of course, as we usually do, which I love, here on Coast to Coast on Golf Wednesdays. He has come close a lot in big events the last couple of months. Majors, signatures. Morikawa has been in all of these things, Keith, and I feel like this is a place we know he loves playing here, that he's going to be in it again this week.
Well, let's just talk a little bit about the timeline here. Morikawa, he bottoms out at Bay Hill, right? He goes back to his old coach, Rick Sessinghaus. And what's crucial about that is that Rick is not your traditional coach. He just doesn't teach Colin full swing. And he's been with him since he was a young kid, before Cal. He also helps him with the mental side of the game, his performance. He was his coach during those 2 major championship victories. So, Colin's in a much better headspace. He heads into Augusta. Next thing you know, his last 5 starts, 3rd at the Masters. Then he goes 9th, 16th, 4th at the PGA, 4th at Colonial. Look at those last 5. He's gaining 9 strokes against the field total on average in those 5 starts. But what's significant about that, and something he's never done in his career, which gets me really optimistic about the next 2 weeks, is that in those 5 starts, he's gaining over 2.5 strokes around the green. That was always his biggest weakness. And now all of a sudden he's made it into somewhat of a strength. Well, you take one of the best approach players in the world, especially with a long iron in his hand, and you put him on a golf course that was designed by a guy that all he did was hit fades off the tee, move the ball from left to right for a right-handed player. That's where Colin hits it. He absolutely loves this place. He's already won here during the COVID summer. When it comes down to the work day, he was in the press room today, and I asked him a question about the short game. He said, hey, I'm just put it in a space where I've made my practice more functional with short game than I have made it form, and it's made me much better at it. He seems really calm, cool, and collected about all of this, Carver. And heading into this event, right? I mean, Morikawa is here for more than milkshakes. Last year, he was in contention. And if you don't remember him on the leaderboard, that's because he pulled out with back spasms on Sunday. And he was almost in tears telling the Golden Bear. But guess what? He's back this year, and he's healthy.
14-1 for Colin Morikawa on my card as well. We'll come back and get the rest of Keith Stewart's card from Read the Line next. Coast to Coast on the Grid. We're back after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I gotta tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We are back from Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. It's a golf Wednesday. Keith Stewart from Read the Line is with us, as he is every week before this week's PGA Tour event. Of course, we are at the Memorial Muirfield Village, Dublin, Ohio, for Jack's tournament, signature event, 73 golfers. We love it. We know that Keith is on Morikawa. Let's get the rest of your outright card, Keith, but lead into it with, tell me about maybe some comp courses for this that kind of helped you zero in on some of these guys that you're going to talk about.
All year, he has been top 15 on tour in tee to green. He's just striking the ball great, and he's an excellent scrambler. We established in the first segment that, you got to be good around the green here. Muirfield Village is a complete test. But you're going to come back to me, and everyone comes back to me. They fire back. They say, Keith, Siwoo can't putt. Hey, you know what? You're right. But he can putt certain places, and this happens to be one of them. He's coming off 4 straight top 20s here. He's got a great scoring average here career-wise, and I don't know what it is, but maybe it's a Nicklaus thing. You go out to that Nicklaus tournament course out where they play the American Express where he's won, he putts good there too. He also putts good, I don't know, at the Players, TPC Sawgrass, huge comp course here. Think about the crossover guys, Kuchar, Ricky, Scotty, right? All those guys have played good here. How about another comp course where Siwoo putts good? TPC Scottsdale. Nobody sees this one, but think about the list there. Cantley, Rahm, Scotty, Ricky, Jordan. All those guys are great there, and they're all great here at Jack's place. So Siwoo with the putter, good at the comp courses, good here, and great with ball striking and saving par. I love it. And then in between, I got to take the defending champion. At Valhalla, he comes in third. He's got the confidence of his short game back. I mean, back in February when I was out at AT&T, I mean, that poor guy, he was along the shoreline there, just like chopping at the hay. And you felt really bad for him because it leaked into all parts of his game. But he's back firing on all 4 cylinders. And I tell you what, Hovland looks hot. He looks really good. He was awesome at Valhalla, and he is getting into that part of the season right now where he could do some serious damage. So I have him on my outright card as well.
I love it. Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, and Siwoo Kim. I'm with you on Morikawa and Hovland. I'm sure you saw that earlier when I tweeted that out. I had a couple put it with the golfs with some homers. And I will add Siwoo as well because digging into the numbers, you're right. He has been outstanding at this course. Give me some placements now, Keith, the top 10s, 20s, and 30s. I see a little Ben on the list for you here this week.
So I had a really unique thing happen today, and I wrote about it in Golf Digest. I was actually quoting A Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens' novel, and it was interesting because I walk up on the range, and I've got A Tale of Two Cities. I've got one guy to my left who's 50-1 at plus 5,000. I got one guy on my right who's at the same number. Ben On to my right, Jordan Spieth to my left. Spieth has the launch monitor out. Cam McCormick's with him. They're looking at data. He's doing all these feels and everything. And to my right, it's a stripe show. Ben On looks like he's working for the Highway Commission. This guy's hitting long irons so high and so straight that you think he was trying to like shoot down planes or something with Scud missiles. It's unbelievable. I mean, he is just absolutely nuking it. And it's just him and his caddy having a good time. They're joking. They're laughing. It's unbelievable. And then on the other side, you got Jordan. I was there 20 minutes. He hit maybe 5 full swings. The rest of the time, they were all feels and everything. So Ben On, I don't know that he can win, but I'll take the 10 places at 4-1. Now, top 20, this is Hideki's house. Again, let's go with the comps. He's great in Phoenix. He's great at the Players. He's always great here. He won here in 2014 early in his career. It's the short game. It's the long iron play. Let's go down to Tony Finau. Now, you're talking about guys down in 70 land, right? This guy's 65-1 to win. He's 5th all-time here in scoring average of the field. The guy plays great here, and he does putt okay here. A majority of the time, he's gained strokes putting. So I like him in a top 20. I may even add him to my outright card. But Tony at 65-1, around the guys that he's with, that to me, he's played good enough. I mean, he's coming off 2 straight top 20s where he's striping the ball really good, and he comes back to a good putting place. Of course, Lee Hodges is my bomb down the end at a top 30, 12th at Valhalla, 12th here as a rookie last year.
Lee, don't call me Gil Hodges making the card this week. We love to see that on C2C. Quickly, the head-to-heads, and you were going after Jordan even before you saw him at the range today.
Oh, I got Henley. Yeah, I mean, I've got Henley over Spieth. I mean, the track record talks about it. Jordan hasn't had a top 10 since before the Masters. And then the other one, I'm going Alex Noren over Cam Young. Yes, they both missed the cut last week in Canada, but Young has been really, really declining. I mean, you were talking about him before at 70-1, and no one's going near this guy like we are going after Tony. And Alex Noren, he just came off 8 straight top 25s prior to Canada. So I love those two matchups. And, of course, I love Golf Wednesday with you, Carver.
We love it. Keith Stewart, read the line. Let's cash it at Muirfield this week. Maybe at the Memorial.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I got to tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We are back from coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Of course, BetMGM, they have got you set up for baseball season. Their Swing for the Fences free-to-play promotion. How about that? Once a day, you can play the free BetMGM Swing for the Fences on your BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app. You can win daily prizes, play as the batter, and pick an area of the strike zone, get a single, double, triple, home run, or a flyout. You can play once a day, and you can win tons of rewards. How about this? Parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, SGP boost tokens, bonus spins in eligible casino states, and bonus bets. All rewards expire in 24 hours. Go on your BetMGM Sportsbook account and play the BetMGM Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. I play every single day. I've gotten a couple doubles, Joe, a couple outs as well, but the doubles have been a lot of fun. We've gotten some good prizes out of those, so go do that at BetMGM. Okay, Joe, a few things before I get to the football. Number one, I told you last night I was going to play this. I am now squarely against the Edmonton Oilers in this series, and it's not that I'm going after Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl or Skinner or any of these guys. I'm going after this guy, the coach, Chris Don't Call Me Chuck Knobloch, who yesterday was asked a reasonable question. That team on the other side was in the Stanley Cup final a year ago. Some experience over there. They know about being on this stage. The Oilers have not been there. Here's how Knobloch decided to make a little comparison, Joe, to all of that.
And you're playing a team that has a ton of Stanley Cup final experience. They were just there last year. Is that an edge that you guys have to overcome, and how do you do that quickly?
Experience is good. I don't know how much experience is beneficial. You can ask the Buffalo Bills how important Super Bowl experience is.
He just went low.
I think the biggest thing is just having confidence to play, and when our guys are playing their best, they should have a lot of confidence.
I tell you what,
Joe,
that was awesome. Look, guy rubbed his
unnecessary.
back. That was awesome. That was awesome. Well, I tell you what,
awesome.
You know who's going to make that bulletin board material? Vinny Viola. Vinny Viola.
Vinny
Viola,
yeah.
Big
Vinny Viola, yeah.
Big Vin going to paste that. They should be showing that in the locker room, Vinny. Bang the locker room. That's
Vinny
it. Bang
Viola.
the lockers. Do they still have lockers in the locker room? No more, huh? They just have these beautiful oak wood,
they got
sitting
they got the big,
arrangements.
almost stalls, I guess you could say, Joe. Like they got all the stalls that the guys go in.
Yeah,
it's a
big
little
stalls.
bit
They have big chair like they're kings, right? You sit down. They put on the crown.
You gotta be comfortable. You gotta be comfortable in there. Sometimes you go to one of the older buildings. It's a cramped room. You need a nice, comfortable chair. In case you're in there. Game one, I'll save Kachuk for tomorrow. Game one is, of course, on Saturday night, where you have it still minus $135 for Florida, plus 115 for Edmonton, and a 5.5 total. We are going after the Oilers in a big way in this. In fact, Joe, I was so upset by that Knobloch diss at the Bills last night that I told you I'd even play him to sweep at 11-1. Give me the sweep for Florida. I'll go after him big time. I don't care at this point.
I'm with you. They're sugar and spice, Edmonton. Fast and loose, all finesse, until they get hit in the mouth. I told you, the way that Florida wins this series is you throw a little body English at Draisaitl, throw a little body English at McDavid early. Take the 5-minute major early, stave it off with Bobrovsky, and now you're cooking with a little house money here. You set the tone. This is hit or be hit. Could we still do that and talk about that in sports? Hit or be hit, or is that like taboo now? That's taboo? You can't hit anybody.
Not taboo. Not
it's
taboo. So
can't give anybody body English.
Hockey will start on Saturday night. We obviously have a lot more time to talk about that between now and then. I
Oh.
don't have as much time as I promised Joe I'd give him some football. So I've got to go ahead and give him a little bit of football here, Joe. Why don't we start with Stephon Diggs, who spoke for the first time yesterday since he was traded from the Bills to the Texans a couple of months ago. Me and you have talked a lot, me and Scotty have talked a lot about how I thought especially last offseason, a year ago now, that there was some off-the-field friction between Diggs and Josh Allen. He was asked yesterday about being in Buffalo with Allen for all of those years, and I actually thought, Joe, really great response from Diggs. Here it is.
Intricate piece in my career, because at that point, when I left Minnesota or whatever, like I presume I was a good player, you know what I'm saying, but I always felt more for myself. I felt like I was better than that, that I could be better than that, and I kind of, up to that point, I was just like, I'm gonna roll the dice and bet on myself, you know what I'm saying, and he sent me to Buffalo. I don't know if they sent me to Buffalo with the most kindest, with the most great intent, but all's well ends well. When I got to Buffalo, Josh is still my guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really understand what it's like to be out there, you know what I'm saying? And he really embraced me, you know what I'm saying? He kind of had that Southern hospitality, you know what I'm saying? So for me, he embraced me, spent a lot of time, and I probably wouldn't be right here if it wasn't for him. So, I got a lot of love for that boy, so y'all give him a hug and a kiss for me.
Hey, Joe, that's a good job by him.
I
thought there was maybe that's a classy job by Stephon Diggs, because there was a lot, Joe, that Diggs, was he mad on the sidelines a few times, was this, that. I think that both of these guys were excellent for each other. Allen needed Diggs at the time he got him to elevate him to that next level as a quarterback. I think Diggs just told you he needed Allen to shoot him up into another level in this league. It worked for both. I know they didn't win a championship, but at the end of the day, that's what is the most important thing in the NFL. But I think, Joe, that the 4 years they're together, they got the most out of it with the both of them, and it worked well for each party.
Yeah, you're like Harry Callis for the former NFL, the late Harry Callis for NFL Films. I mean, that was a tearjerker. You put that all together, it was like a Hallmark movie talking about your Buffalo Bills team. And that's it.
Now he's out.
Now he's out. Kick him in the ass, and let's bring in Keon Coleman.
It's a new day, baby.
That's just the way you are. You're a cold-hearted snake. You're a cold-hearted snake. Steal of the draft. Steal of the draft. Oh, okay. Yep. All right.
Go get all the tickets now, Joe. Offensive Rookie of the Year, most receiving yards by a rookie. Go get it all. It's coming. Especially after you bashed the kid. You loved the kid last year in Tallahassee. Loved the kid with that Florida State team that was undefeated. But now he's in Buffalo. We're going to bash the kid, is what you want to do.
I said he's a complimentary piece. He's not the pure number one. That's what I said. That's what I said.
You bashed the kid. You bashed the kid.
I didn't bash him. So. I'm bashing you.
And he's going to give you the business this year up in the Belo as a rookie. He's going to be making big plays for
and
Josh.
If he doesn't, boy, you are going to be miserable yet again, and you're still going to be kissing Sean McDermott and saying that, he's the coach of the future. Yeah.
It's not what I have ever said to you once. I told you I would have fired Sean McDermott, I think, twice in the last few years.
You
for what
said
he's
it
done
a little
in Buffalo.
bit.
They did not do it. And when they didn't fire him after the 13-second game, and when they didn't fire him after the home loss to Cincinnati a couple years ago, that's when I said to you, Joe, I'm not doing this anymore. They're never firing him after this.
Guy's got a lifetime contract.
You know what? He might.
Lifetime contract.
Well, he hasn't had he hasn't had that in a while. He only had one bad season since he's been there, and that was the first year that he had Josh. Other than that, he's been the playoffs, Joe, the last few years, I think, if you can go and check it out. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty. We'll come back. We have a lot more to do on the grid. I promise you, Joe, I'll give you a little bit more football before we leave later. I promise. Coast to Coast. We're back on the grid right after this.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Maybe a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke Jay. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
20-1, I'm going to take the little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Of course, every week, it is great to have our man Smiley Kaufman with us. Of course, the Smiley Show right here on SportsGrid multiple times every week. And we bring Smiley in now with us. Smiley, good to see you as always, my man, as we get ready for a big stretch here. We were talking about it earlier. Signature, major, signature with the Memorial U.S. Open and the Travelers coming boom, boom, boom. What a time for golf, Smiley. Let's go.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of the season, right? We just finished up. You wait all year for the Masters to come around, and then finally you just start to get big event after big event. Had the PGA Championship, which was epic. And now we're here at a week that is, it's a signature event. It's a smaller field. You got so many of the best players in the world playing. And this golf course is just time and again, just continues to be so fun to watch on TV. It was very fun for me to play when I was still playing on tour. It's just an incredible venue. You always get a ton of fan support out there as well. And there's a lot of storylines right now to try to figure out who's going to make their way towards the top of the leaderboard as we head to the U.S. Open next week, like you mentioned.
It certainly is. And like you said, it's an elevated event. We only got 73 golfers on the field, and storylines abound. And we have Scotty and Rory in the same place again, obviously for the first time since first time for Scotty since a very weird PGA Championship weekend for him back at Valhalla. Rory's been playing a lot of golf lately, including last week at the Canadian Open. But for me, Smiley, I want to start with Xander, because we're getting Xander out there for the first time since finally winning a major at the PGA Championship. And this is a course where he's got some top 20s, has never won here before, finished in the top 5, but he's playing some great golf right now, Smiley. What do you think of Xander this week?
Yeah, he definitely is. I spoke with Xander and his caddy, Austin Kaiser, today, just kind of checking in to see what they've done the last couple weeks. Austin Kaiser's caddy, they said they were just kind of chilling, just hanging out, enjoying the win. And I think they've just kind of ramped it up a little bit over the last couple days. But they were in a great mood. Like you said, I think this golf course, you have to be you have to be so on. It's not a golf course in which you can just fake it around. You have to be able to hit the shots. And so I think form matters a little bit more here than maybe past results, because I think that if you're able to execute the high risk reward shots that's required on this golf course, I think you can kind of throw the results out a little bit. I think there's maybe a couple players here and there you might say they don't like the golf course, but for the majority of the field, this is one that they look forward to. You get treated the best, and more importantly, after the round, you get an incredible milkshake in the clubhouse.
You get the milkshake, and of course you want to be there on Sunday with Jack sitting there at the 18th green, right? So that's the moment everybody is always waiting for. Last year we had the playoff, Victor Hovland beating dangerous Denny McCarthy in a classic. There's been a lot of playoffs at this tournament as well. Victor finally playing a little bit better at the PGA Championship, coming back to a place that started his run last year. How about him?
Listen, since he's gone back to his old swing coach and Joe Mayo, we're starting to see what we saw at the end of last year, which is a guy who has been finding his way at the top of leaderboards. All year he was searching to try to find the answers to his golf swing, and his short game suffered. He hardly was really even playing, not even considered even playing the PGA Championship because of the form that he was in. But Victor Hovland, if he is comfortable with his game, if he's comfortable with his swing, he understands all the concepts in his golf swing and in his short game to where he doesn't have to think and can just go play. He is one of the best players, not only here, but in the world. And you should definitely have him on your list to potentially have a chance to win, whether it's the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, or here Memorial this week.
What do you got for me this week, Smiley, for the one and done? You've had a couple of hits here recently. Who are you looking for out at Muirfield?
You know, I say all this about form and you have to be informed to play this place, and I've kind of went against that in my one and done pick, and I am just betting on this player, and the player I picked this week was Jordan Spieth. I just think he's driven it as well as he ever has in his career. And if you would have taken his driving this year and put it in any other year, he would have already won multiple times, because when he's in the fairway, his iron game, his short game, that's been the strength of his game since he's come on the PGA Tour. Eventually, being in the fairways is going to pay dividends for him because of how good of a putter he can be, how good his short game is, and historically has been a great iron player. Is it the right call to bet him on this week, particularly in which you really do need form and confidence to pull these shots off? I'm willing to try to do it with my one and done. I can see an argument made against it, but I'm just a big believer in that Jordan is going to have a good second half of the year. I know his hand and wrist has been a bit of a question mark, but still I have some faith there. And another player too I played with last week, Justin Thomas. He switched putters last week. He went to a blade Scotty putter, and he hit it really well. He shot a 61 when I played with him. He's another guy, both of my friends, obviously, but Justin Thomas, another guy that I think is going to have a good second half of the year as well.
I love it, Smiley, because I've heard a lot of the same names this week. You know, we talk to a lot of guys, and we're doing a lot of trying to pick who's going to win. And you're the first one to throw Jordan out, and I've seen Jordan's number for this week. And listen, and I'm going to go and now dig a little bit deeper and maybe add Jordan to the card here. I got about a minute left. I watched Scotty with the press conference earlier this week. Obviously, first time talking. Still kind of getting over a little bit everything that happened at Valhalla. Do you see him being as locked in as usual this week?
Yeah, and if I had an opportunity to take Scotty, I would. Just unfortunately, I've already picked him this year in my one and done pool because it is a really great course for him. You have to be so good with your irons. But I'll tell you this story real quick. I'm pulling into the gate today, and I'm trying to get my credential all set up. And Scott, I look over to my left, and somebody rolls down their window, and it's Scotty Scheffler. And I'm like, hey, man. And he's like, what's up? And I was like, I'm just trying to get through the gate. He's like, well, be careful. I was like, okay. And it was just a really funny moment that Scotty Scheffler is just making sure that I'm getting through the gate and security all in one piece.
Listen, he's going to get a lot of that, I feel like, Smiley, for a very long time, those jokes, Scotty Scheffler. Smiley, tremendous job. As always, we'll catch you right here on The Smiley Show on SportsGrid. Smiley Coffee, we're back on the grid right after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I gotta tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back from coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. Great stuff from Smiley there, sneaking in for us on a Golf Wednesday. You had the full run today, Joe. Cam, Keith, Smiley, the entire syndicate came through for you on a Golf Wednesday here on Coast to Coast. All right, Joe, before we go, I promised you more football. Let's do Tyreek Hill. Because have you seen Tua, Joe, and how slim Tua looks? Have you seen all the pictures of Tua at practice and how he looks like he lost like 50 pounds? I know it's probably not that much, but Tua looks very slim, wasn't looking very slim at the end of last season, and Tyreek Hill, Joe, took a lot of notice to that.
What I'm saying out of Tua, man, like, I ain't gonna lie, when I see Tua at the Pro Bowl, I was kind of scared. Dude was but he was fat, he was chubby. I was like, hold on now. Bruh, hold on, bruh. Like, Ryan Clark said you were kind of thick. Now, he wasn't lying, but seeing him now and where he's come from and how skinny he has gotten, what's that stuff with everybody taking? Ozempic? He had to be taking that, bruh, because I don't know.
Joe, I almost think he looks too thin, don't you? Like, have you seen these Tyreek Hill shots?
Yeah.
He looks too thin.
You know, well, here's the issue, though. He gained weight, supposedly, to deal with the pounding so that he could potentially, handle the concussions. So now, because he wants to be paid, we're back down to maybe a lighter weight. But if he gets hit, is he going to last 17 games? I'll say this. Whether you last 17 games, 24 games, 41 games, it don't matter. He's not winning us anything. And I'm a Dolphin fan going back to the days of Don Strock and Joe Rose and Tommy Vigorito. Okay? So I don't need to – I've been a miserable Dolphin fan for that long. So, outside of Marino, we haven't had an elite quarterback. And Joe is good. He's not elite, doesn't step up against elite competition. And if the game's on the line, I'm still not sure he can lead us from behind. So we'll see. But he's a great compiler. He's a great compiler. He's great. So is Kirk Cousins. Great compiler. What has he done in the postseason? Gutless. Both of them. Gutless.
Not wrong, Joe. Not wrong. The hardest schedules in college football this year, according to people who think they know, more specifically the ESPN FPI. Florida, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, and Auburn. Joe, man, what's the correlation there? Oh, they're all in the SEC, the hardest schedules in college football.
Yeah, and they have Texas and Oklahoma now coming into the conference, so that should bolster up a lot of things, right? In regards to Georgia, always has a tough schedule. We know that, right? This year they play Tennessee, much improved Tennessee. They have to play Clemson to start week 1. That's not going to be an easy game, even though Clemson and Dabo Swinney have regressed. You get 6 months of preparation. So we'll see how this plays out. It is intriguing. I think it's a wide open SEC this year. Even though Georgia's the front runners, it could be anybody's take. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm chomping at the bit. I will say this, conference realignment has given everybody the opportunity to watch top 25 battles that are going to be unbelievable over the first 3 weeks of the regular season.
Conference realignment. It's almost time, Joe, where we're going to start doing win totals, odds to win the conferences, all the college football stuff that you love so much. It is almost time for that. See, I told you. I even snuck in a little college football for you today. I take care of you, Joe. We got to rub the back a little bit.
I'll buy you a drink. All right, I'll buy you a beer. It would be nice to break bread with you, have a nice filet mignon.
You got to get Keith one first. You got to get Keith one first. You got to take care of Keith first before you get to me. You got local guys in Jersey. You guys get together first before you get me involved.
Oh, what are you, the king? I got to go up the ladder?
I was in Jersey on Saturday. I was at the Monster Truck Show.
You don't even pick up the phone. Don't even pick up the phone.
Got me at the Monster Truck Show.
Where were you? PNC? Where were you? East Rutherford?
No, at MetLife. The Monster Truck Show was at MetLife, so I was a little far out of your range, Joe. Joe, I will see you tonight on Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, 8 p.m. East, where we will have a full baseball slate. I'll even give you some more football during the radio show tonight as well. I promise you that I'm going to do that. We'll dive into a little bit more of those series futures for both the NBA and the NHL as well, and final golf picks, Joe. Remember, everything we do tonight on Carver and Lisi, we put it with the golf on Wednesday nights.
Can't wait.
So we will do that. Tremendous job by Mafia and the crew today. All the Golf Wednesday guys, Keith Stewart, Smiley Kaufman, Cam Stewart. We had Davis Maddock, Coach Young. Great job by everybody today. Game Time Decisions is next. Scotty back tomorrow, coast to coast. Cash some tickets. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bostonian versus the book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the book.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness. And I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now. And you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
this
Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on sports.